Ever since they first premiered in The Brave and the Bold, fans have loved the Teen Titans. When DC tasked Marv Wolfman and Len Wein with revitalizing the team for the 1980s, they knew there was only one artist for the job, the legendary George Pérez.
So I received a phone call from Marv asking, because of my success over at Marvel, if I'd be interested in doing the Teen Titans, and quite frankly, I wasn't. With the way things were going, I didn't think the book would last 6 issues. But I always dreamed of doing the Justice League of America over at DC. I said, well, if you give me at least 1 issue of Justice League of America, I'll do the Teen Titans for as long as it lasts, or at least get it going. By the time we reached issue 8, it was a story called The Day in the Lives, and I found out how much emotional investment I now had with the characters, how much I really enjoyed being with them. That the Justice League was a book that I ended up dropping, and I stayed on with the Teen Titans, and reaction to the book from issue 1 was phenomenal. Marv encouraged me to write, even though I had not done any writing at the time, because he liked me as an idea man as well, and it was a beautiful, beautiful relationship. To this day, I consider Marv Wolfman the gold standard by which I measure any collaborative effort. Who knew? I mean, when he described Raven, when he described Starfire, I thought, okay, I designed them. And unlike a lot of projects, all of them were accepted on their first design. The only exception was one of the editors, Joe Orlando. When he saw the picture of Starfire, said, make her hair a little longer. Didn't know what can of worms he just opened up by asking me to do that. Marv and I started injecting a bit more of our own personalities into certain characters. Mine was more cyborg because I shared more of his upbringing. I was a boy from the South Bronx in New York, so I can identify with him. Marv had, brought some of that dark Gothic stuff to Raven. And in the case of Cyborg in particular, is that Cyborg has become the preeminent African-American character over at DC Comics, thanks to a lot of editors who were reading the comics at the time, who are now in positions of authority or power in the company now. Unlike so many at the time, he wasn't just a black version of an existing character. He was an original character. He was strong. There was a certain authenticity to him as far as his background and the way we handled him, and a great origin story, and something that a lot of people could identify with. Starfire was basically, she was the bombshell of the group. Red Sonja in outer space, who is the most powerful member of the group. Also one of the savage innocents, that person who expresses her emotions freely. And her counterpart was Raven, who was very repressed, very sometimes dour, and was always looking things almost from a fatalistic point of view, because she was always on guard that things are going wrong because she had a demon for a father. In doing those characters, you have a character who has a lot of science fiction and techno background, so you can do those type of stories with Cyborg. You have an outer space alien, so you can do interstellar stories with Starfire, and you can do more occult mystery type of ghost stories with Raven. So you had 3 characters, all of whom have a particular mood that allows the stories to be a lot more broad than you have regular crime fighting. It couldn't be pigeonholed, other than they were a superhero team. The types of stories we could do allowed us, a great freedom. At that point, they were the young sidekicks who were going to go on and become heroes on their own right. Obviously, Robin, having been the first kid sidekick in comics, and because of his importance to Batman, they wanted to return Robin to the Batman series. They couldn't do that while he was still a member of the Titans, because you don't want to now make him a sidekick after him being a leader for so long. So we were allowed to then do the thing that we didn't think we would be able to do, is to have Dick Grayson's Robin grow out of being Robin and became Nightwing. That was a very, very big moment where you felt like, yes, it's like I've grown up, I've left my home, and now I am a man. I sometimes wonder, why did we end up lucky? How did we, find lightning in a bottle there? And you never know. I mean, I think one of the great reasons is that Marv and I, when we did the comic, we just did it because we loved telling stories, we loved creating characters, and we try to put some kind of emotional investment into the characters that the fans managed to feel as well. They can tell that we loved what we were doing, and that was infectious.